On the momentous occasion of Mother's Day, I just thought that I would put my 2 cents in about how I really feel about this national holiday. I've always said that listen to your mother is really for anyone who has an ovary, who used to have an ovary, or knows someone with an ovary. It actually means everyone qualifies to get it, to understand the importance of motherhood. Now, that doesn't mean that things haven't gotten out of hand lately. I mean, I'm a true women's libber and have always said that equal pay for equal work is just one big duh, but that doesn't mean that what we as women, aunts, grandmothers, sisters, BFFs expect from ourselves has just gotten a little cuckoo. I know that sounds so cliche, but give me back the days that I could be June Cleaver and spend all day wearing pearls while I vacuum, make meatloaf, wait until the kids come home to talk about how fun it was to play with Lumpy Rutherford on the playground. Oh no, not us. We are determined to all be the perfect wives, the perfect mothers, Girl and Cub Scout leaders, home decorators, room mothers, Kumon instructors, gourmet chefs, bilingual in Portuguese and Swahili, size 6 sex kittens. I know, who the hell am I kidding? Who can make 6 figures in their spare time while making the perfect baby book, painting neon stars on the ceiling, while finding the answer to world peace. Who the heck was this sadistic person who made these rules for us? So today, oh, lucky you. I hope you don't mind, but I decided that what I want to do is just be one little teeny tiny spokesperson for this generation of crazy women and say all we really want to do is to enjoy and cherish the short time we have on this planet and be the best people and moms that we can be. Which brings me back to what I will call my little gift to you. Taking one for the team and telling you just a few stupid ass things that I have done. All while playing this crazy game called motherhood. The selfless person that I am is doing this just to make you all feel better about your lives and all the crazy things that you may have happened to you. Number 1, minutes after giving birth to my first child at the ripe old age of 35, still high on epidural, sweaty, bloody, gross, but holding the most beautiful creature I had ever seen in my entire life, my best friend, or should I say my ex-best friend, walked into my hospital room with a full-length fur coat, diamond earrings, looking like she was ready to go to the Academy Awards, asking me, "So how was your first time at childbirth, darling?" I started crying and said, "Oh, it was just perfect. All I had to do was hoo-hoo-hee 3 times, and she popped out." My friend quickly replied, "Well, of course she popped out. Look how huge your hips are." So, she continued with, "God gave you those plantation women hips so that women like you could just plop those babies in a cornfield." And at that very moment, she totally ruined what should have been the best experience of my entire life. Don't you just hate when that happens? Or number 2, trying to reward our youngest daughter for straight A's, we succumbed to buying her a hamster, later naming him El Diablo, otherwise known as the devil. After spending hundreds of dollars on a state-of-the-art hamster rat condominium, along with spa and workout room, I lovingly took the hamster out of his box to show him his new home. As he ripped into my finger with his fangs and was determined not to let go of me until all the blood in my finger and my left arm completely bled out. And as I was trying to fling this rat thing off my hand, our 2 daughters were running around behind me screaming bloody murder, crying, help, Mommy, Diablo is killing Mommy." While all along, my sweet husband just shook his head and said, "I knew getting a new pet wasn't a good idea." Don't you just hate when that happens? Number 3, while trying to impress the other Girl Scout moms who probably all knew that camping, horseback riding, and just being plain earthy is not my forte, but decided to let me go on a horseback riding trip with the troop anyway, I completely blew my cover while after going on a ride from hell through the Missouri mountains and deciding to finally take off my 4-inch high-heeled boots. Don't even ask me why I decided that they would be my riding boots. and rest my ailing body and calming my nerves with the help of squishing my aching, swollen feet in these beautiful, soothing lily pads that were in the middle of nowhere, kind of like a mirage. When all of a sudden, while all the little Girl Scouts were drinking their juicy juices and the moms were all sweetly talking amongst themselves, this toothless horse whisperer guy by the name of Buffalo Phil from the top of the hill screamed at me and said, "What the hell are you doing?" And I just politely said, "Oh, I'm just helping my aching feet with these lovely lily pads." He screamed at the top of his lungs and said, "Those aren't lily pads, you dipshit. Those are cow pies." Well, my feet were dark green for about 3 weeks. Don't you just hate when that happens? And finally, my husband had an art professor at Webster University that was loved and admired by his entire class, almost to the point of stardom. When he passed away, he had left many of his art pieces to the hands of a student who runs a very well-known bar in Soulard. This guy called my husband and told him that he could pick up any of the pieces of the man's art to keep. When I heard of our great luck, I had visions of us going on Antiques Roadshow, finding out that these pieces were worth millions and millions, and thinking, ka-ching, we will now have money to pay for our kids to go to college. Woohoo! So we first dropped off our kids to go to a very religious communion reception of one of our very best friends, and then we ran downtown to go to this warehouse to pick up our art gold. When we got there, it was me and 4 men, former students of this professor, amidst hundreds, if not thousands, of art pieces of penises. All shapes, all sizes, watercolors, acrylics, pencil, chalk, and even furniture penises. Not only were they all of this one appendage, but his art also had religious writing all over these things. I almost died of embarrassment, and I think my husband loved every minute of it. I actually saw tears of sheer laughter streaming down his face. After what seemed like hours, but was probably about 4.5 minutes, he finally picked out a lovely coffee table, which, of course, the glass piece of the table was held by, what else? A penis. What the heck are you supposed to do with this anyway? Maybe hold a bowl of nuts? And then we ran back to West County to pick up our girls at this very nice religious home. The entire time we were in the car, this huge thing kept hitting me in the back of the head from the back seat. And by the time we got there, I think I was still in shock and really bruised. Until, of course, the mother and father of this child, who just celebrated this very sweet and religious milestone, walked our 2 girls to the car, and when they opened the car door, they both screamed in stereo when they saw what was sitting in the back seat and hitting me in the face. Don't you just hate when that happens? So, there you have it. Just a few little stories to make you all feel better about your lives. I wish you all a happy Mother's Day, knowing that you haven't done any of the stupid things I've done. Or have you?